Okay, so let's begin. Okay, as usual, let's do our warm up first. Okay, so just going to be just still marching on the spot, or just moving any way that you like. Okay, as long as you get your body temperature up a little bit, get your heart going a little bit faster. Okay, so just keep going. We're going to do this for about 5 minutes. Okay, as usual, we're going to move our joints at the same time. Okay, so just kind of starting off from the spine, including the neck. Okay, so we're just going to breathe out a little bit, kind of round your back slightly. Okay, relaxing and breathing in, just arching your back a little bit as well. Okay, so just go in your own pace. Okay, just relaxing your shoulders. Okay, and then opening. Okay, so exaggerate the arm motion and the open up, the arms, palms open. Okay, also turn your neck a little, start open, turn your neck a little bit as well. Okay, so looking side to side as you open your chest. Okay, try to pull your wrist back slightly as well, open the hand up as well. Okay, and let's just try to turn side to side a little bit more. Okay, rotating through the spine, maybe a little bit through the hips. Okay, let's move our shoulders as well. Okay, just pull directions maybe a couple of times. Okay, and a little bit of side bending, so just kind of reaching up and across. Okay, starting off with smaller movements. Okay, increasing as you feel more comfortable. Okay, and then just both arms up. Okay, as you breathe out, try to reach back with both fingers, both arms. Okay, keeping the feet moving if you can. Okay, and then just hands behind the lower back or the pelvis. Okay, and then just breathing in as you pull your shoulders back. Okay, pushing the back of your hand into your back. Okay, and then we're just going to go into a bigger circle. So just draw a circle of our elbows. Okay, try to get your elbows a little bit close together, a little bit higher up, a little bit further apart. Just a couple of times in each direction. Okay, elbows just open and close. Try to open the hand along as well. Okay, rotating the shoulders in and out. So finger reaching back of the thumb. Okay, and then reaching forward the pinky. Okay, and just a couple of times with the wrist. A couple of times out of the way. Okay, and opening, closing hand. Okay, opening, closing fingertips. Okay, and side to side. Okay, and shaking out. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight my own spot on my own video just to make it easy to see. Okay, and that's exaggerate moving the legs. Okay, so just maybe lifting the legs, the knee up a little bit higher. Okay, and similar, but lifting the inside of the foot. Okay, and then lifting it to the side. Okay, still kind of pulling the toes forward, feeling the muscle in the side of the hips. Okay, kicking backwards a little bit, toes pointing out, feeling the muscle of the butt. Okay, and then just a couple of hip circles. Okay, so let's practice our hip hinge. Okay, so fingers, hands on the leg. You're just going to push your butt back. Okay, knees slightly bent. Okay, so the shin is kind of pointing vertically up. The hips, most of the movement comes from hips. Back is straight. Okay, legs is roughly shoulder width apart. Okay, so you can imagine kind of karate chopping your own hips. Okay, you can also feel the crease of your hips kind of bending a little bit more as you push your butt back and flattening out as you come back forward. Okay, and let's do a little bit side to side. So we're going to still do the same thing. Okay, but shifting hips slightly off to the side. Okay, so imagine it's touching the wall, but it's slightly off to one side. Okay, and then slightly off to the other side. Okay, so my knees are still only slightly bent. Okay, next one, we're going to just increase the bend of the knees. Okay, so knees slightly more forward. Okay, so sitting on a tall bar stool now. Okay, breathing in as you come down. Okay, and breathing out as you stand back up. Okay, imagine you're 6 feet tall as you stand up. Okay, so same idea. You're still sitting on a tall bar stool, but this time the stool is slightly off to one side. You're just behind 1 foot. Okay, and slightly off to the other side. Okay, so feet are still flat on the ground. Okay, now this time we're going to squat down a little bit more. Okay, how low is completely up to you. Okay, when you breathe in, just turning a little bit. Fine, might start to get a little bit high, so we just may do 2 to 3 times per side. Okay, or whenever you feel like your leg is starting to get too tight, and stand back up whenever you feel comfortable. Okay, and coming back up. Okay, so shake your fingers, so 5 will be a little bit tight. Okay, so 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay, we're just going to push our hips forward. Okay, let's also do this all at the same time, so breathing in. Okay, reach up to the ceiling. Okay, if you need to go beside a wall, you can just do it one hand at a time. You need to hold on to something. Okay, but try to push your hips forward until you feel a little bit of stretch in front of the hips. Okay, just 3 to 5 times. One side, okay, whenever you're ready, let's do the same thing on the other side. So still breathing in. Okay, but you're still trying to push the hips forward as you reach up. Okay, and let's just kind of bend and extend the leg, the knee. So just kind of bring the heel, onto the knee heel up towards our butt, shifting our weight side to side. Ankles, we can lightly just use the floor to help us. Okay, so toes on the floor, and just try to draw a bigger circle by heel. Okay, hold on to something as you need. Okay, same thing on the side. So just toes slightly back. Okay, and just try to draw a bigger circle all around with our heels. Okay, and then the foot, just kind of wiggle your toes inside shoes. Try to lift them off the floor. Okay, try to spread them apart a little bit more. Okay, so let's get our band. Okay, so we're going to start off with just a combination movement. We're going to go into a squat and a press at the same time. Okay, so we're going to just have the band out. Maybe just check it. Also, just a reminder, check the band once in a while. They do break down. So if it starts to tear, maybe Either we cut it off where it's tearing, or just get a newer band. Okay, so we're going to start off just having one foot on the band and one end of the band. Okay, the feet are still kind of shoulder width apart, toes pointing out slightly. Okay, we're going to start off with a hand roughly around our shoulders. Okay, so there's maybe a little bit of tension here, adjust as you see fit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into a squat first. Okay, so we're still pushing our butts back. Okay, so the movement starts on hips, the hips back, the knees bend. Okay, and you're just sitting on a tall bar stool again. Okay, and you stand back up. Okay, and you're going to go into a bit of a press. Okay, so at the beginning, we just go to forehead level. Okay, or roughly where your elbow is the level of your shoulders. Okay, that's a little safer. Okay, so let's start off easier first. Okay, so squatting down as long as you feel comfortable. Okay, and pressing up. Okay, slowly increasing the range of motion as you feel comfortable. Okay, so still breathing in. Okay, and breathing out. Okay, so we're going to do it 5 to 8 times per side. Okay, so we're going to switch arms after 5 to 8 times. Okay, so breathing in as you drop down, breathing out as you stand back up, and also pressing up. Okay, so as you're standing up, try to keep your legs kind of tense as you press up. Okay, so create a stable base with your legs before you press up. Okay, so 5 to 8 times. Check it out. Okay, and when you're ready, you can just do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to change the angle a little bit. Okay, so feet still shoulder width apart, just slightly wider than the hips. Okay, toes pointing out slightly. Okay, standing position, kind of hands around the shoulders. Okay, the further away your hand is, the harder it becomes. So try to keep it. You can make it easy by keeping your hands close. Okay, try not to slouch as well. So always stand up tall. Okay, chest tall. Okay, as you squat down, when you're still pushing your butt back, and just press up, tense up your legs, create a stable base. Okay, once again, maybe just don't go as high as I'm doing right now. Okay, we start off with just forehead level or the elbow at shoulder height. Okay, also 5 to 8 times. Okay, also just 5 to 8 times. Okay, and relaxing for a second. Just have to be mindful of my battery today. Okay, so second one, we're also going to do a combination movements. Okay, so the first one we did is all kind of, we can consider as pushing movements. So we were kind of pushing up with our legs, okay, and then pushing up with our arms. Okay, so this kind of saves time because we're doing upper body and lower body at the same time. So kind of like, because I'm running out of battery, I'm just trying to do more stuff together. So the next one, we're going to do kind of holding movement. So pushing is kind of, you can think of pushing as just front of the body. Holding is kind of the back of the body. Okay, so we're going to more over our hips, more our back, and also our anything that pulls the shoulders back. So in the next combination movement, we're going to do that. Okay, so this one we kind of did before, but I don't think we did it together. So we're going to start off with just kind of feet. Can be a little bit closer this time. Okay, so we hip width apart, okay, but the middle of the band kind of in the step, we're stepping on both feet. You can do it, step on with one foot as well. That works as well. Okay, so this time, instead of sitting down on a tall bar stool, what we're going to do this time is you're going to just consider bending over to pick up something. Okay, so imagine you're picking up somewhere around the knee height. Okay, so my knees are not bending as much. Okay, my hips are bending a lot. Okay, but my knee is more or less straight. Okay, we get a little bit of that. Okay, so in this position, we are going to just think of lengthening our spine first. Okay, so still kind of chest a little bit higher. Okay, your body is kind of horizontal though. Okay, and you're going to do a pulling movement. Okay, so you imagine you're bending over, you're trying to pull something to your chest. Okay, and then you're going to pick it, stand back up with it. Okay, just stand tall. Okay, and once again, kind of reaching down. Okay, so knees still just slightly bent. Okay, pull your shoulders back, pull your elbows to the sky. Get back there, and almost imagine driving hips forward a little bit. Okay, once again, pushing the butt back. Okay, so keep the knees relatively straight. You can bend a little bit. Okay, and just kind of back and forth. This time, let's do about 10 to 15 times. Okay, so before you pull, think of stiffening your back. So keep your back nice and long, and more or less your hips, your shoulders, and ears in a straight line. Okay, as you stand tall, kind of imagine squeezing your bum muscle, squeezing the next muscles in the back of the leg. Okay, so 10 to 15 times for this one because we're doing both sides together. Okay, as you stand up, think of just standing taller. Okay, so you don't have to overbend this way. Just think of standing taller. Okay, 10 to 15 times. Okay, when you're done, just kind of safely kind of dismount. Okay, pause. Okay, and just relax in between. Okay, so it shouldn't be kind of too sore in any one area. It's more we're kind of doing upper and lower body at the same time. Okay, so just kind of shake it off. Keep muscles moving a little bit. Okay, we'll see maybe relax the hand a little bit, just because we do squeeze quite a bit for the movement. Okay, and when we feel ready, we just repeat these two movements one more time. Okay, so still the squat with the press. Okay, so 5 to 8 times per side. Okay, when you're done, if you're quick, you can go right into the kind of hinge. So the pull, what we call roll into, this actually called deadlift or hinge. So you're just picking something up from the ground. Okay, so squat with the press first. Okay, so still 1 foot on one end of the band. And so still kind of roughly shoulder width apart. Toes can point out more or less, depending how what is comfortable for you. Okay, some people kind of squat better with the hips a little wider. Okay, so you can play around with how wide your feet are. Okay, so start off with just maybe a little bit of tension. If you want to make this harder, you can just, of course, make the band a little shorter. Okay, but always remember, chest up. Okay, elbows roughly pointing to your screen. Okay, so once again, breathing in. You can start off a smaller movement first. Okay, and the press. Okay, so from the side, the difference this time is that compared to the other movement is that this one, my knees bend a little more, my butt's lower a little bit more. So I'm sitting on a chair compared to bend. This is bending over, this is sitting on a tall stool. Okay, so for the squat, we're sitting on a tall stool. Okay, we don't have to go down too low. Most of the goal is just to get to like a regular chair height. Because that's what we need in our day-to-day activities. Just to be able to get down onto a toilet and then be able to stand back up. Okay, so once again, 5 to 8 times per side. It's a little bit hard on the shoulders just because the band is kind of the tightest at the top. Okay, so mostly only going to do 5 to 8 times. Okay, once again, you might want to consider getting different kind of band thickness or tightness just for different activities. Okay, so rest as long as you need to in between. Okay, whenever you're ready, you can go to the other side, but same thing, chest up, okay, butt still going back, feet still flat on the floor. Once again, only go as high as your shoulder allows for, okay, without pain. Finally, the same reminder, knees should be tracking over the toes. So roughly, it means that I draw a straight line down, it should be, my knees should be over my feet. Or you can think of your knees should be closer to the band. Okay, so this is not very sturdy, it's not very good for the knees. Okay, so knees over the toes, or you think of your knees closer to the band. Okay, and once again, relaxing in between. Okay, I'm just checking my balance. Okay, so you might find your breathing a little bit faster, heart rate a little faster, just because we are moving more muscles at the same time. Okay, and when we're ready, we're just going to go into the this hinge with the row. Okay, so still feet a little bit closer, slightly closer this time. Okay, just about hip width apart. Okay, once again, the difference is that we are pushing our butt back. Your knees do bend slightly, but just enough so that your shin, your lower leg is kind of straight up to the floor. So this will be kind of knee forward. Okay, your knee is just kind of over your ankles. Okay, you can tighten the band a little bit as you see fit. Okay, once again, we don't really run it like this. Okay, so think of lengthening your spine. So think of pushing your head towards kind of the wall in front of you. Okay, and you can do a roll. Okay, think of trying to get your elbows closer together behind your back. Okay, this is actually easy on the arms, so we can do 2 times, 2 to 3 times for the arms. Okay, and then maybe once for the leg. Okay, so you can change how many you're doing for the arms and the legs. So we just 2 to 3 times the arms. Okay, 1 time the legs. Okay, once again, think of standing tall. Okay, sometimes having a mirror or a camera helps because you can tell if your hip, your shoulder, and your ears are in a straight line. Okay, and this kind of stays in this alignment throughout the entire movement. Okay, so think of standing tall here, and your spine stays tall. Okay, so your thighs might actually be a little tight as well. Okay, but think of squeezing your elbows, almost trying to imagine trying to touch them behind your back. Okay, obviously they're not going to touch. Okay, but the back of the armpit, you might feel just a little more tight. Your low back might start to be a little tight as well. Okay, when you feel like you cannot maintain a good position, okay, stop. Okay, when you're done, when you just let go of the band, shaking off. Relaxing for a second. Okay, so I don't have too much battery left. Okay, so maybe we'll just do something simpler. Okay, we're just going to go front of the arm, back of the arm, so just kind of a pull and a push with our arms. Okay, so let's kind of do it with the same kind of similar setup as before. Still that's a 1 foot on the band. Okay, so usually I could bunch it up a little bit. Okay, so still top position. Okay, and we go into a curl. Okay, so this time your elbow stays beside your body. Okay, so what you notice, you can also do this together with the squat. Okay, so if you want, if your legs are still okay, what we can do is actually do a combination again if you want to. Okay, so similar idea, you can still go in a squat if you want to. Okay, as you stand back up, usually at curl. Okay, so you don't have to go, maybe if your legs are tight, we don't go as low as before. Okay, but you can also do a squat with an upper body movement at the same time. Okay, so let's do maybe 5 to 8 times for this as well. Okay, and when you're done, you can repeat on the other side. Okay, so it's actually quite more time efficient because you're once again doing upper and lower at the same time. Okay, and it's also good to just get more practice in. Okay, if your knee allows for it. Okay, if your knee hurts, we don't squat as much. Okay, I'll just do a mini squat and then come back up. That's fine as well. Okay, and once again, you can kind of play around with the angle of your hips. Okay, so once again, if your butt goes down a little bit, your knees goes a little more forward, okay, that is a squat. Okay, you can go more on the hinge. That's easier on the hips, a little bit harder on the hips and the back. Okay, so you can kind of play around with it to see which one you're doing. You can do a combination, so it's not one or the other, it's a continuum, so you can kind of bend the hips a little more, bend the knees at the same time a little more. So it's a combination of two. Okay, just think of this as practice with hips. Okay, while you're just moving your arms. Okay, and think for a second. Okay, so that was probably still pretty easy for the arms. Okay, so let's just do one more. Okay, this time we'll do it together for both sides. Okay, so this time let's just step on maybe 1 foot. Okay, so and then hold on to both arms. Okay, that's just going to make the band a little bit shorter. Okay, and okay, so this might be the last one we do just because I have about 5% battery. Okay, so I didn't realize if I record and kind of use Zoom at the same time, it consumes a lot of battery. Okay, so let's just do both arms together. Okay, if your band is long enough, if you want to, this might be a little more kind of balance between the two sides, or more symmetrical. Okay, but staying on one is fine as well. Okay, so let's just do about 10 to 15 times per side. Okay, so that one should make your arms a little bit more sore. Okay, but you still want to do it control on the way up and control on the way down. Okay, and let's relax it for a second. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm very close to running out of battery, so I might have to cut this class a little shorter. So sorry about that. I forgot to bring my charger today. So this talk, once again, this kind of exercise class is going to be recorded. but the recording is only what the camera sees and what my mic picks up. So it doesn't go through Zoom at all. So you don't have to worry about being recorded. So feel free to speak out at any point. Okay. But thank you for coming, everyone. Sorry that I had to cut this class a little close. Okay. Maybe see everyone next time. If you can, just kind of stretch out, try to move a little bit, stretch a little bit afterwards. Okay. Or just keep moving. Okay. But thank you for coming. Happy New Year. And I'll remember to bring my charger to next time. No problem. Okay. Yeah, so it might be, yeah. 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 No problem. No problem. Happy New Year. See you next time. Bye. No problem. Happy New Year.